Hey, what's going on? Jason right here. In this video, we're going to talk about the fact that you're probably not nurturing people enough, right? So, whether you're raising capital, whether you're a high ticket service provider or a coach or even a digital agency like me, you're probably not nurturing people enough after that initial phone call. How do I know this? Because I used to be you. I can look back at my business from a year ago and especially 2 years ago. I remember 2 years ago finishing out the year and looking at our revenue and looking at our profit, telling my wife, like, man, we've really done something, and everything's about perspective. And last week we passed the revenue already for 2020. So it's like, in hindsight, is it that impressive? I don't know, not really, but that's how it is, right? So when I look at what's changed in our business to allow us to generate more revenue and get more clients than ever before, to be honest, it's really what happens after that phone call, right? Our funnel in our business is people are interested in what we're doing. 95% of who we're working with these days are real estate investors, and we help them with the back end of their sales funnel. So that process begins with a phone call, right? Sometimes people buy in the first call, most of the time they don't. So what happens after that call is critical. And here's something. So we do a really good job of that now. 2 years ago, we didn't do anything, right? And I'm going to share my screen and show you some things. But most of the time, when I ask people, and I ask this question a lot because I'm curious, and we're not talking physical products, we're talking, capital raisers or high ticket service providers. When I say you're talking to your dream client or your dream investor or whatever, what happens after that first call if they don't agree to work with you or don't agree to invest with you? What happens? Most people I talk to, even very successful people, are like, nothing at all, absolutely nothing. And it's crazy because if you're not nurturing after the phone call, you're just missing not a little opportunity, you're missing a ton. So let me share my screen with you here real quick and let's get into some things. All right. So here's my lovely web whiteboard, and I want to share some of what I've learned with you. So if you look at your business, and we're going to basically focus on this specific area today. Okay. So here's what's, we're going to call this after the call. What happens after the call if you don't make that sale? You don't get that buy-in from the person you're talking to. This is wildly, wildly important. And I'm show you even another step here. And we're going to call this the verbal commitment. Okay. And then from here, we're just gonna kind of make another category and call it closed. Okay. So any high ticket business has got some kind of a sales process, customer journey like this. Okay. So when I used to sell in the corporate world, I can remember managers and people way more successful than me saying, if you don't like your numbers, you're not following up enough, right? And I always was like, I don't want to follow up too much. I don't want to annoy people, right? You may have said the same thing. I don't want to be that company. I don't want to be that guy. And I embraced this in my business for a long time, and my income grew very, very little year over year. And there's different reasons to that, but a piece of that, what we're focused on today, is what happens after that call. So I used to also do nothing, and I would maybe follow up once or twice and be done with it. What I have learned is truly startling. Okay, I'm going to share that with you here in a second. But this right here, in my opinion, what happens after the call, and this to define this, you and I have had a conversation. Okay, you've pitched your offer, and I said, let me think about it. Okay, that's it. I haven't said I'm going to do this. I'm just let me think about it. All right, this opportunity, what happens after here, has a massive, massive opportunity to generate more revenue for your business. I think this is potentially the biggest opportunity in every business. Okay. And I think this because I've watched and tested this part of my business, and the results have been staggering, absolutely staggering. Okay. So what we used to do, what I started to do is I started to do um, a couple of emails after the call, and you know, it's never to annoy anybody. I think I may have started with like 3 emails or something, and it kind of went over just a couple weeks, you know, within 30 days for sure. So wasn't that long, and we would get a little bit of activity through this, but nothing crazy. So let's fast forward about 18 months, and this is kind of what we've evolved to. So if you don't know, if you're new here on the channel here at YouTube, we are active campaign freaks, right? Love marketing automation, been using active campaign 6 or 7 years, close to 7, and we love it, right? It's very visual. So what we have evolved to, think about this, is I have to actually back up, right? I actually have to back up to give you the full picture here. So to go to what I was saying earlier, I used to have people more successful than me and managers in the corporate world in sales say, hey, and you've seen these charts, right? So many, it takes so many touch points to make a sale. And I remember reading somewhere, and I can't quote it, the number of touch points needed to make a sale on average was something stupid, right? I remember reading it was like 12 or 15 touches, and a touch could be a text, an email, a phone call, face-to-face interaction, right? I was thinking that'll never work. That's crazy. I would be so irritated. If I was that person, I would never buy from anybody, right? I remember that, and I remember saying, I'm not doing it. So check this out. I'm just going to kind of fast forward and show you this. When somebody books a call with me, this is an active campaign automation. Here's what's happening. So they book the call with me through Calendly. Okay. If they have a phone number they've entered into Calendly for the text message reminders from Calendly, they will get a text message from me immediately within 5 minutes. And it just basically says, hey, thanks for booking a call. If you have any questions between now and our call, let me know. Okay, there's a touch point. Calendly is going to nurture them with 3 emails and 3 texts, the way I have it set up, to remind them for the call. Are those touch points? Yeah, right. They're touch points. Not much value there, but it's keeping them engaged, letting them know that we've got some time together. Okay. So we'll call that, just to be conservative, we'll call it 1. Once I have a conversation with somebody, I now have 14 emails, and 10 text messages, and 2 ringless voicemails. And the ringless voicemails is going to go up to about 4 total. Okay. And these go out over 56 weeks. Okay. And look at these open rates. I just added the last 4 emails yesterday. Right. You want to see an open rate. 25% is great in today's world. 25% or above would be great. Phenomenal open rates. Phenomenal open rates. Right. This is the cash machine for our business. What happens after the call? So emails times 14, SMS, text, right, times 10. And for now, ringless voicemail times 2. Does this annoy people? I once upon a time, I could have never convinced an earlier version of myself that this would work. Does this annoy people? Not really. It doesn't. Does it lead to a lot of sales? Hell yes. Hell yes, it does. And what's interesting is when I did this about a month ago, I said, I'm going to count how many touch points it takes for most people to close. So let's do this. Let's go conservative. So we'll say 1 from the text message. Most people enter their phone number to get the reminders from Calendly. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There's 11 touch points, plus these folks are also running through my welcome sequence at the same time. Okay, and that's introducing to the company. There's no selling. There's a ton of value built in. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 more touches. So we're like at 15. And I started sitting here. So my point was, usually at email 5 or text 5, people close at that point, or sometimes a little sooner. But that's like a good average. So the thing I heard in corporate America all those years ago is actually right. I'm going to say 12 to 15 touch points is a common time frame to make closes. So it doesn't matter if you're trying to get more passive investors in your world, if you're an active capital raiser. It doesn't matter if you're a coach. It doesn't matter if you're a digital agency like I am at heart. It doesn't matter if you're a consultant. If you're not closing people in the first call, which you're probably not doing most that way, and you're not touching them 12 to 15 times with automation, you're losing money. Like there's no way around it. Think about that for a minute, right? If for the clients I've worked with in real estate specifically, we will get them set up with this process. We don't do 12 to 15 touch points, so we get them set up and always encourage them build upon this. Use this as a foundation because most people, and I've talked to hundreds and hundreds of entrepreneurs at this point, most people after the call honestly don't do a damn thing, nothing. Okay. So I want to drive this point home and say, I don't care if you use Active Campaign. I don't care if you use a phone. I don't care if you use carrier pages. Do something after that initial phone call with your ideal prospect where you can touch them 12 to 15 times. And if you put that in place and you sit back and watch, I promise you in the next 6 months, your business is going to look very different than it does today. And you may be wildly successful today, but guess what? More success is coming. Okay. You may be part-time trying to go full-time. You may be just starting trying to go part-time. This will help you get there. I promise. Okay. If you think about, I just bought life insurance a couple months ago. First time since I've been fully self-employed. So I've been self-employed full-time 4.5 years now. My wife's been on me for years, life insurance. So I finally got it. And the company we went through followed up. It wasn't annoying. It was pretty much the same messaging, but like followed up like crazy through email and text. And it never really annoyed me. And it actually, because I wanted to do it anyway, right? It kept reminding me to do it. And eventually I got it done. And I bet they messaged me 15 or 20 times. And I think the key is your messaging, right? If you keep it conversational, you keep it talking about benefits, overcoming the objections, sharing testimonials, things like that, instead of sounding desperate and weak and that type of thing, that's a whole nother video. It can be very powerful for you. So I won't even get into these other stages, but basically after you get that verbal commitment and kind of people move out of this stage, there's a whole nother strategy to actually get them to move forward if they said what they're going to do. So I really hope this is helpful. I go back to the main screen here, and I want you to think about this. Are you nurturing your contacts enough? Are you talking to your prospects enough? And of course, with us being a marketing automation company, we encourage you to use as much marketing automation as possible. Do I believe in automating everything? No, but can you make a huge impact in your business doing what we talked about today? Hell yeah. So if you found this video helpful, I invite you to subscribe to the YouTube channel. I love making video. I love teaching. I kind of know what I'm doing with this stuff, so I've got lots of content to create. I'd love for you to share this with other people on your team or your network that you think might benefit for what we're doing as well. And check out our description, and we might have some links in there that are interesting to you as well. So appreciate you watching. See you soon.